The ring dip is an amazing pushing exercise, which also involves a lot of stability work, since the rings are unstable. It's performed just like a regular dip, but on rings. Firstly, start in a support position with your arms straight and your scapula depressed. Then slowly lower yourself down as low as you comfortably can and push yourself back up, straightening your arms and turning the rings out at the top position. But before talking about how to do the ring dip, let's talk about why to do the ring dip. Firstly, since you're doing dips on rings instead of fixed bars, this exercise is much easier on your joints since they can move freely. Secondly, this exercise also works your stabilizer muscles since the rings are unstable. You can see this clearly with bodybuilders who can't even stabilize themselves on the rings, let alone perform exercises on them. Yes, they're strong, but their stabilizer muscles aren't strong, which makes it impossible for them to perform ring dips. And thirdly, working out with the gymnastic rings in general is much more accessible than working out with fixed bars. You can hang these rings from any tree branch. You don't need to find dip bars to do dips. All you need to do is buy some gymnastic rings and find a place you can hang them from. Now let's talk about how to learn the ring dip. If a beginner jumped into this exercise right away, his arms would start shaking so much that he wouldn't even be able to stabilize himself in the support position. That's because the ring dip isn't only about strength, it's about also stability, which I mentioned in the bodybuilder example. So there's two parts of learning the dip. Learning the dip. The strength part and the stability part. If you're not strong enough, you won't have the strength necessary to perform the dip. But if you're not stable enough, you won't be able to keep yourself still on the rings. So if you're a complete beginner, the first part that you need to focus on is strength. Because without it, you shouldn't even be thinking about performing ring dips. And to build strength, you should focus on doing dips on parallel bars. Once you're strong enough to perform about 10 dips on parallel bars, you're strong enough to start working towards the ring dip. The first exercise that you need to do is a support hold on the rings. This exercise may look easy, but if you have never worked out with gymnastic rings before, you will find out that you can't even stabilize yourself for 5 seconds. While doing this exercise, make sure that your arms are completely straight and the rings are turned out. If your arms are bent and the rings are turned inward, you're not doing it correctly. If you're finding it difficult to stabilize your whole body weight on rings, you can try putting your feet on the ground and shifting how much weight you're putting onto your hands and feet to find a position that you can hold for at least 10 seconds. Once you can hold yourself in the support position comfortably for about 20 seconds, you can start doing ring dip negatives. Starting in a support position, lower yourself down to the ground as slowly as you can, get back up and repeat for as many reps as you can. Make sure to lower yourself down as slowly and controlled as you can. Every rep should be about 5 seconds long. Once you can do about 5 reps of a 5-second long negative, instead of jumping back up to the support position, you can push yourself back up. This is almost like a ring dip, but not really, since your feet are touching the ground at the bottom position. All we're doing here is we're introducing you to the concentric part of the movement. Say hi, and once you can do about 5 reps of ring dips with your feet touching the ground, you're ready for your first ring dip. But here's the thing, if you can only do 1 to 3 reps of ring dips, I wouldn't recommend you to do them exclusively and drop the previous progressions. This is because the ring dip is still a really intense exercise for you, since you can't do more than 3 reps of it. Once you can do about 6 ring dips, that's when you can drop the previous progressions and say that you're too good for them. Until then, have some humility and avoid ego lifting. Now let's talk about the most common mistakes that people make when doing ring dips. The first is just doing the exercise too quickly. Yes, you can push yourself up quickly because it doesn't make much of a difference. But you shouldn't lower yourself down too quickly, because you're leaving gains on the table by letting gravity help you, so make sure to perform the negative slowly. The second is not using full range of motion. This can mean either not lowering yourself down low enough so your elbows don't reach a 90-degree angle, or not straightening your arms at the top, which is much more common, so make sure that your elbows reach at least a 90-degree angle at the bottom and your arms are completely straight at the top. And the third mistake is not turning the rings out at the top. The correct top position, which is the support hold on the rings, is having the rings turned out and your arms locked out. This ensures that you're training your tendons as well, which are crucial to train if you want to develop yourself as a calisthenics athlete. In conclusion, in this video you'll learn basically everything that you need to know when it comes to doing ring dips. You'll learn what are they, why you should do them, how to learn to do them, and the most common mistakes that people make when doing them. If you have any more questions, feel free to comment them down below and I will try to answer all of them. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to click that like and subscribe button. And also follow me on Instagram, to which you can find the link in the description. On there I post my daily workouts, what I eat, and some insights that can help you on your calisthenics and self-improvement journey. And have an awesome day. Peace!